Hey, what's going on, everyone? Seth Miranda here for AdoramaTV, coming to you from the wilderness. Not for real, this is totally outdoors for a city guy like me, but I'm here trying out the new Nikon 28-400 f4 to f8. Yeah, 28 to 400. We've seen to 300 in the past on the F mount. While on the Z mount, you're looking at 28 to 400, f4 to f8, and it's a nice addition to the Z lineup. I'm trying out super fast today on some geese, some ducks, whatever I can find out here in the park, but I'm telling you right now that this is actually a pretty surprising lens for me. One, super light. I actually was very surprised at how compact it was. When you're looking at spec sheets, you can't get a sense of something until it's in your hands. And once I got this in my hands, like, wow, it's like kind of not even in my hand all day, which is great, especially if you're someone that's looking for something to travel with that gives you a lot of range. 28 to 400 is a lot of range. But what's really cool about this lens is a few things. One, it's got stabilization, VR, vibration reduction. So if you are running a camera that doesn't have IBIS in it, you still have stabilization in the lens. So like the Z50, for example, right? But it's still a Z mount lens, so it means you can use it on the DX bodies or the FX bodies. I've been using it on the Z8 here, but I would say it pairs pretty well with the Z6, Z6 II, and I think it's gonna give you a lot of surprising range when you're out there traveling. You don't want to carry a lot with you. You're going to something like an event, a parade, or something that's like your kids playing sports or something like that, and you're not really sure what you need to take with you. You've got it right here in your hands. And the shocking thing about it to me was the close focusing. So for me, it's not just focal length. What's really important is the minimum focusing distance, meaning you're always restricted by how close you can get to something where the lens will stop focusing. You always step back, but stepping close, that's where you really see performance. Well, at 28 millimeters, you're looking at under 8 inches of minimum focusing distance. And at the long end, 400 millimeters, you're looking at under 4 feet of minimum focusing distance. This is awesome. You can tell in a lot of these shots, I was able to get right in there to those birds, whether they were far away or if they were close up. I wasn't worried that I wasn't gonna be able to focus. I could just get that shot and I'm good to go. So this lens is really good for those people out there that might be like going on a safari. You've got a lot of sunlight out there. You want that long reach when you want it. Something comes close to you, you zoom back out, you still are able to get it, and you don't have to really worry too much. A lot of people will always get started in photography and not sure what lenses to actually invest into, right? They're not even sure what kind of photographer they are, what kind of perspective points they lean into, or what kind of style they want to shoot. Something like this is a good place to get going and then look back at your shots and see, well, where do I really lie? Am I more on the wide side? Am I someone that shoots around 200 millimeter? Well, then maybe going forward, a 7200 might be your next investment. But if you're not really sure what kind of photographer you are, stuff like this, something with a lot of range to it and a lot of capability, will give you the idea of where you are as a photographer to then invest into something more specialized to get closer to the style you're trying to cultivate for yourself. I was really thinking about that f8 the whole time, because I know you're probably saying the same thing, like, man, that really closed down. It still isn't something like f11. f8 is a great aperture. You can still get a nice shallow look when you have longer focal lengths when you're able to get closer. So you can kind of cheat that depth of field if you want it. And you can see in these shots that they don't look like they're super closed down. You still get that bokeh that you're probably looking for. And on the back side of the lens, you've got a custom control ring, which you can set like any of the other Z series lenses with ISO, exposure compensation, things like that. And you've also got a lock on it. So if you're someone that worries about lens creep while you're walking around with something, this does extend quite a bit, but you don't have to worry about it creeping down while you're walking around the park like I was, because you can lock it, which is a nice little feature to have on here. And I will say overall, for what it is, it's pretty compact. I'm pretty surprised at what's going on here physically with the dimensions of this lens and the weight of it. So it being nice and lightweight like this means it will pair with those smaller bodies really well, like the Z6 or the Z50 or something like that. So anyway, you guys are looking at a bunch of shots from this lens here today at the park. If you have any questions for me with my limited use with the 28-400 f4 to f8 from Nikon, hit me with a question down below. I'll do my best to answer with my real quick use here in the park. And don't forget to like, share this video around, hit subscribe and the bell to get notified and put up more videos like this. And we'll see you next time. Later.